Matt, we are creeping toward the first anniversary of your arrival here at Derby County with John Eustace and Keith Downing, of course, as well. How do you reflect on it nearly 12 months in?
Yeah, it's crazy really that it's almost 12 months. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like 10 minutes. We're still going, still in that foundation phase. But I think with football, you're reviewing every day, training, post-match. But actually a reflection period of the whole period, you probably do that when you break in the summer. But I think for us, as we said at the start, it was all about standards, providing that clarity, which I think we've got into the training ground and into the games. And then now it's that involvement, which I think we're getting through. So it was a big building stage, which we're still in. And then we go into those foundations are in, and then we move it forward from there. So I think when you ask me the question, what's the overriding thought is, it's been really good, we've had a good start, but there's lots more to do.
I know you say it feels like 10 minutes in some respects. How long does it take to feel normal? Because you come through the door and you're here every day, and it very quickly feels as though you've been here forever.
Yeah. A lot of people say that when they speak to me, to be fair. But no, I think what's really good, and I mean this very sincerely, that the people from day one, they wanted us to succeed and do well. And I think that really helps. So in terms of, that's why it's a bit strange really to talk about it, because it feels like we have been here a long time. So field settled straight away. And I think it was more that professional side of exactly what John needs and wants, the way we set up, the way we interact with the players on and off the pitch, and just get them in their kind of habits, and they're creatures of comfort. So we're trying to get them in a bit of a routine really to make sure we have the best chance of winning as many games as possible.
What are the biggest changes around the building that someone would see if they walked in a year ago and then walked in today? Have you changed much physically?
Well, I think it's a good question for you guys as well. You know, have you noticed much? Obviously, rhetorical question, but I think you can just see with the new players the way the gaffer makes people feel welcome, and obviously he's setting the culture. It comes down to us as coaches to make sure we're backing that up. But you can just see aesthetically all of the photos and the big words about the culture, and you can see it's around the training ground. So I'm not saying it wasn't bright before, but it's just nice. So that new player coming in, straight away they've got their picture on the wall with the players. So I think for me personally, it kind of brings it to life, because we spend a lot of time here, don't we? Do you know what I mean? So it's important that players feel comfortable and their families know they're comfortable when they're coming into work. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, and what really helps that, and I genuinely mean it, is a lot of the staff are from Derby and are Derby fans. So we get instant feedback whether we're winning or losing, so we definitely know what we've got to do. And even like everyone wants us to win and do well. And I think that's the nice bit that I've found in the training ground, and John encourages that as well. He talks about the family as a lot, but it's not just a soundbite. It's generally put into practice, or genuinely put into practice, which hopefully you can see yourself.
How much do you get involved with when a new face comes in terms of making them feel welcome, or is that left to the dressing room to do that job?
Yeah, I think it depends what stage of the process. Obviously, it's identifying a new signing and getting them all the way through. But as soon as they're, it's confirmed and in the building, that's our job really, because the quicker we get the players up to speed to make them feel comfortable, ultimately fans see that, supporters see that on the pitch, and the benefit for us is they're coming down and hitting the ground running. So I think the dressing room is very good here. We've got an excellent dressing room. The attitude's very good professionals, and every new player, I'd like to think, feels pretty much welcome straight away.
You and John and Keith have been together for quite a while now. Are you still learning about each other?
It's a good question. You always ask a good question, makes me think. Yeah, probably every day. Yeah. There's lots of things. There's some facts that come out every now and then, especially from Mr. Downing. You're like, oh right, I didn't realise that. But yeah, I think it's more, the more you work together, the more you understand when you've got to push, when you've just got to hold certain bits of information and kind of just make everything work really. But I think the main thing is we're learning every day, and I'd say that from a football point of view as well. We don't want to kind of stand still. You're always trying to improve things, and it's always looking forward, thinking forwards rather than reflecting. We review every day obviously, but like longer periods, it's how can we get better, as simple as that.
I know set pieces have been really important for this team, and I know everything is a group effort, but your name has been mentioned as being the brains behind it a few times. Is that fair? And what's the process when it comes to drawing things up?
I'm not sure about the brains. I don't think that's fair, but I know what you mean. I think, basically restarts. So the gaffer's very, very clear tactically how he wants to play, and all those bits, you know, throw-ins, free kicks, corners, even kick-offs. Those are the bits that we kind of having a look at to make sure, as per opponent, what we're doing. In fairness, the set play culture is very strong here anyway, and we just bring in our kind of process. So when you come back to how we've evolved it over 12 months, I think there's bits and pieces we've had to change just with the personnel, how we want to play and how we want to do moving forward. And I'd like to think all the players feel prepared going into the game without giving them too much information, so they're comfortable within their roles in both boxes or whatever area of the pitch the restarts are. So there's a lot of work goes in. It isn't just me, obviously. It's a collaborative effort. But yeah, obviously I'm probably delivering the majority of that.
Just on the personnel side of that, I'm always fascinated to watch who is doing what job at set pieces, and obviously Carlton Morris was a big part of it early part of the season. How big of an adjustment was it losing him defensively as well? Because he was a big part of things in your penalty area. Yeah,
without going too much into detail, obviously he's a leader on the pitch, leader off the pitch. We've got several of those, so you have to adjust, and this is what I'm saying about those adjustments with the personnel that you've got, because depending on who we've got in the team, that depends on how we set up really, and how we kind of look for our opportunities, how we're going to hurt people and obviously counter those threats. So I think it was just adjustments for players as well, 1 or 2 games, because once they're in a role and they're in a rhythm, they know that particular role, because it's quite specialised, some of the roles within the box. I know it probably seems quite simple, and it just head it, which is what the lads say to me a lot of the time, which is not a bad way of looking at it. But I think some of the particular things that you've got to do, and with the boys that have been in the game a longer time, they're obviously leaders on the pitch and they're understanding situations and what we want as coaches. So obviously when you lose someone of Carlton's magnitude, the next person's got to step up, and that's when the gaffer's always talking about that leadership and who's the next one. And in fairness, we've had some, without naming individuals, we've had some really good people step up and organise those things in the game.
Into the back half of the championship season, you're well placed in the table. This is, I don't know, 4th or 5th year you've been involved at the championship at a couple of different clubs. Yeah. How much has the division changed over the last few years, do you think? Yeah,
again, I think it was 18-19 was the first season I've come into the championship. So I think financially, I can definitely see there's been changes in terms of ownership structures, the way people are looking at clubs, profiles, without going too technical in terms of how that's happened. But I think the other thing is as well, is just that involvement. There's some really good coaches, always have been. The game doesn't really change, just obviously the language or fashions or trends. So I think that's what I'm talking about earlier. You have to be up to speed with that. So I think definitely you've seen players. I mean, look at the players that have come into the championship just in the last 5-6 seasons that have gone on to, have really good Premier League careers, international careers. I mean, a couple of names we've worked with at Birmingham and at QPR and at Blackburn. Have gone on to have really good careers in the Premier League and broke into international teams, which is good.